It's a capital markets investment banking business, first and foremost. Secondarily, a bank. They're not a big bank in Germany. You know, most of Germany is funded with government-sponsored entities, the state banks, et cetera. So Deutsche has always been outward focused, very much like Citi. They are not really a domestic German or even European bank. Capital markets, the old heritage of Morgan Grenfell, Bankers Trust, a determining transaction years ago, turned them into a derivatives shop, second-tier mortgage bank. So what do you do with that? I say you merge them with Citi. You know, marriage made in
Wait, you think
heaven.
Citigroup should buy Deutsche? Let's not call it a merger, because Citigroup would have to buy Deutsche Bank.
I would have them buy it and have Citi as the successor brand. And
what would this do?
it consolidates two relatively weak capital markets businesses. Citi's more of a bank. They've got a nice consumer book, global payments business. They're in 5 significant markets around the world. They're committed to a global model.
We have not had a merger of that size in the financial markets, not one that wasn't forced, by the way, in over a decade. Do you think there's any real chance of that happening, Chris?
I think at a certain point, the regulators in Europe are going to have to realize that they have to get involved. You have a board that has been passive, that hasn't forced change. And I think the whole thing is just a study in why banks get to be too big to fail. They're not managed. You have people destroying shareholder value left and right, and yet nothing happens. And I think it's very indicative of where U.S. could be years from now if we allowed our banks to be messy. We don't. We have more capital than we need in the U.S. system now. European banks, frankly, as a group, are undercapitalized, and they don't make money.
You sat down and you said Deutsche Bank needs a few years of boring.
Yeah, and just make money. Just get the needle back on the right side of zero. That to me are the two key issues, and I don't know how they do it because we're slowing down in key business areas for them.
Is there a risk Deutsche Bank fails?
There's a risk it's going to be so unprofitable that they have to do something like, for example, face-saving merger with Commerzbank, and the German government somehow gets some new equity. Because remember, they have a shareholder that's selling now, H&A Group, that's over-leveraged Chinese aviation company.
Which seemed to buy into everybody, dumping everything.
Well, it was crazy to let them come in and buy it in the first place. They were not a credible buyer, but they were. So the Germans were so happy to see them show up, they said, fine. But now they're selling, and all those positions were levered. So you need a new anchor tenant in Deutsche Bank that's willing to sign on to a new strategy. We don't know what that strategy is yet.
And maybe